Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of Player versus Team, aka PVT. And y'all know me, it's your boy Moo. And I'm back with my guy, DJ Micah B. How we doing, big dog?
Man, leaving work today, I was annoyed because I hate to have to babysit grown ass people. I'm pretty sure you know how that goes.
Oh, elaborate. Please elaborate.
But a bunch of he say, she say. I'm the supervisor, so I got to be involved in all that nonsense. Kill all that crap. It was a slow day today. People were supposed to be just cleaning, but for some reason, a slow day means everybody's not busy, and they just decided to vent today and get into arguments and all that other shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had one person, which I'm going to repeat it. I don't find it funny. Have one person said, "Go back to your country. All immigrants are the same. They need to be gone." Yeah,
Ay, ay, ay.
shit like that. But my day completely turned around when I got off, and the reason why my day completely turned around when I got off, my little nephew was born this evening.
Yeah. Congratulations.
My little nephew was born this evening. Shout out to my boy Hendrix. Shout out to my sister-in-law Brittany, and of course my brother, the middle child, my brother Casil. I'm gonna take a drink to that to Hendrix being born.
Absolutely.
I know you gonna dab to that one time.
You know it. You know it. Shouts out to the new life. We love when new life enters the world.
Oh yeah. But happy PVT Thursday. I know I never said on Gentleman's Talk, but happy PVT Thursday. There's a lot going on in the world of sports, especially in basketball. That's what we're going. That's what we're gonna make our bread and butter today, bro. That's what we're gonna make our bread and butter today. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and take over. I see you over there trying to get everything sparked up and ready for you. So
yeah, most definitely, you know we're gonna get into it today. I understand, and we understand that the Super Bowl is a few weeks away, but that's what it is. It's a few weeks away. So as the time being goes, it's officially basketball season, and we are in hoop mode, period, from here on, then on. Okay, right now I got on the Rockets and I got on the Grizzlies at the moment. They're going through replay right now, so I can't really show. Let me see, because they actually do have to score. Let me see. 66-71. Houston is in the lead. So that is that. We also got some live updates because thanks to YouTube TV, I got it like that. Magic and the Trailblazers, 56-46. Trailblazers are leading that, and Timberwolves and Jazz. 4 minutes left to, or fourth quarter, 7 minutes left to go in the fourth, and Timberwolves are leading 115-92. We'll go through some final scores later on, but that is the current updates that we have right now. Now, we were talking about some things back in the backstage about one Jimmy Butler and how plethora of teams are now back in the running for his services. And he's also been suspended indefinitely. DJ, how we feeling about Sir Jimmy and his antics as of recently?
You know, NBA players are spoiled to a certain extent because without the players and the stars, we probably wouldn't watch because we'd be like, man, Joe Schmo off the street could play better than this dude. You know, I feel for Jimmy because I feel like Jimmy has given that organization 200%. He got them to 2 finals with Bam being his second best player both times. And no disrespect to Bam, and I just don't think Bam plays out of position. That's where I'm starting. Bam is 100% a power forward, and all Jimmy has really been asking for is a center so Bam can play for him, be comfortable. The same way LeBron and AD aren't. AD came on TV and said, "Well, it would be nice to have a center because when we won the finals, Dwight and JaVale McGee were holding down the center spot, which allowed me to play power forward, which is my natural position."
Yep, and he thrived.
And rightfully so. Jimmy is upset because he felt like he hasn't really gotten a lot of help. But I got one more thing to say about the Jimmy Butler thing.
Go ahead.
think after the bubble, well, Dragic got hurt. I think if Dragic doesn't get hurt, I think the Heat have a better chance of winning that series because they did squeeze out 2 games.
Yep.
Against the Lakers. And we all saw Jimmy Butler at the end of Game 6, bent over, out of breath. He gave it his all. He got everybody's he got everybody's love and support. Then, of course, a couple of years ago, he beats Boston and gets them back to the finals. They were pretty much outmatched against the Nuggets. Jamal Murray was having an absolute tear during that playoff run. Not better than the bubble run, but he was absolutely on a tear. And then the addition of Aaron Gordon proved to be too much. Because I think if Bam would have been allowed to guard Aaron Gordon and they had a legit center to guard Jokic, that series would have went a little bit different. But I'm going to comment on this from the standpoint of the office, the front office of Miami. Because I know a lot of people have got into Jimmy's antics and things like that, and then him and Pat Riley going back and forth. But here's what I got to say, and I don't take sides in this. I don't want to be biased because I do like Jimmy Butler. He did grow up in Houston. He was homeless for a while in Houston, and then he got adopted by a family, and y'all know the rest of the story. Pat Riley is right in the fact that he suspended Jimmy Butler. And I want to make it perfectly clear to everybody out there. He's absolutely right that he suspended Jimmy Butler. Now, if Jimmy Butler was to do what a lot of NFL players do and hold out, y'all would be on Pat Riley's side like, why is he holding out this and this? And now Pat Riley's like, hey, look, I'm sorry, man. Addition by subtraction, especially when it's distracting your team so much. He intentionally missed plane flights. He intentionally acted out. He intentionally missed shoot around because he had on the Phoenix Suns shoes. This is getting ugly. Like, for those of you that know the history of Chicago Bulls, Jerry Krause and Scottie Pippen.
Yeah,
and it's all because Jimmy wants a contract extension, a big one at that, close to $50 million for 2 years. I get it, bro. I'm not counting your pockets, but at some point, you have to remember you signed the contract and you should honor the contract, right? If you honor the contract, go behind closed doors. Like, look, I think it's time we part ways, basically because y'all and Miami is absolutely looking to the point where they want to start to rebuild, right? Make Bam their front guy for now until they get more pieces and see what they have at that point.
Yep.
And I get it. As Jimmy Butler, I get it. You should be mad because you gave the cup for 4 straight years. You got to conference finals. You got to 2 finals. I mean, the one year they got knocked out in the first round or the second round, whatever it was, within the last 4 years. But starting at 2024, not 2025, for everybody out there that's saying like, no, 4 years ago was 2021. Starting in 2024, going back 4 years, Jimmy was the Miami Heat. He asked for some dogs. He got them dogs, like he said in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. I play the middleman on this, and I'm going to say Pat Riley's right. Jimmy Butler is right. Suspended indefinitely, I get it because you want to see where you're going to go forward. When going forward, you got to learn how to play without Jimmy Butler. So I get it. But you're not going to play him. You're mad that he's acting out. You're going to sit here and say, well, I want to wait until I get the best deal. Jackass, the best deal was 2 months ago. When y'all first said he wanted to get out. And you held on to him talking about you want to see the best deal. The trade deal, now, Pat Riley does not have to trade him, and he absolutely has the right to not have to trade him next week, but before next week on the 6th. He doesn't have to. But what the downside to that is he has a player option next year.
Also true.
Right? So you can leave him, opt out, and get nothing, or you can trade him for little and get something in return. But if they don't trade him and he opts out of a play option, you get dead cap money. And this is why I'm saying I'm looking at it from a front office standpoint. If he doesn't get traded by then, you're going to be paying him, it's close to $15 million for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be paying him close to $15 million for the rest of the season. That's money that you're paying that you're not capitalizing on. Doesn't sound like good business to me. If you don't trade him, he's just going to be sitting at home, getting back in shape and getting better. Sounds like a stupid business decision for me. And if he decides to go across town to any of your rivals, it's going to look stupid again. If it's there's one thing, let's just say, for the hell of it, move. He exercises player option, becomes a free agent. He's like, you know what? You know what team has a lot of cap space right now? And it's because their star player is still on a rookie contract. The best two players, I believe, are still on rookie. Franz Wagner and Palo are both still on their rookie contracts. That's Orlando.
That's a good point.
And if he wants to be spiteful, number one, Orlando's not Miami, but Orlando has all the good shit that people go to Florida for. They go for Disney World. They go for Busch Gardens. They go for Universal Studios. They go for all that. There's nothing wrong with staying in Florida and playing for Orlando because Orlando is a really, really good up-and-coming team. If Jimmy can get over there and become that veteran leader, it might be trouble for the Miami Heat for the next 2 years if Jimmy goes on to eventually win a championship with that team. But Pat Riley, trade this man. You don't want him there. He don't want to be there. Not all divorces are good. 15 years from now, we can all look back and be like, damn, the Miami Heat teams are special because they beat up on the Celtics. And they beat up on the Bucks that had Giannis in his prime. Right? The original D-Wade Pat Riley divorce wasn't a good one. A couple of years later, they mend fences and Pat Riley realized his mistake and traded for D-Wade back at the end of his career because we all know that is Wade County. But move. It's the Grand Canyon, bro. It's a great divide. It is the great divide. And speaking of which, also I know we didn't talk about this pre-show. We need to talk some De'Aaron Fox and Sacramento Kings divorce as well.
Okay, so look, I know what the thumbnail and I know what the title says, but we like we said, we're in basketball mode, so we do have to get into this for a second. First and foremost, about the Jimmy Butler situation. I know there's a lot of people speculating about everything that's going on right now. But my sentiments, like I told DJ Mike could be in backstage. Trade him, right? And I'm on the side of DJ Mike B when he says he understands where Pat Riley's coming from, where the front office is coming from, where you got to suspend him. The antics are just too much to overlook, and you can't make anybody feel above the team. And especially in Miami, I know that's definitely not the
Heat culture.
Riley, that's Heat culture. It's not the type of person that Pat Riley is. So nobody's above the team, nobody's above the program, nobody's above the ball club. So of course they're gonna look to suspend him for the things that he's doing, because at the end of the day, yeah, okay, we understand you want out, and rightfully so, we get it. But even when you want out, there are certain things that you don't do in that route of wanting out. So like I made this example on Basket to Basket on Monday. Even when you want another job and you're applying for other jobs, you don't just stop showing up to work.
Right. Oh, that's a good point.
You still show up to work, right? So like just show up like you said, you signed the contract. Show up to work, big dog, right? We know you don't want to be there, but show up to work, put your best, effort on the court so that they can evaluate you properly. Other teams can evaluate you properly, and now they can ship you off to the right way. But now don't spur the relationship to the point where now they don't care if they ship you off or just wait till wait till the end of the season and just cut you.
Right.
So it's like when it comes to that, like just trade him sooner than later. And I understand the asking price is a lot different now. Just at this point, take what you can get, right? Like if there's talent coming up in this draft, we all understand it, we all see it. So understand it with proper scouting, with proper looking into the free agency market. You can stay afloat with adding a big. Bam's still there. You still have Jaime. You still have Tyler Hero.
Still got Robinson.
You still got Duncan Robinson, who you guys have made it extremely abundant that he's untouchable. So I think they'll be fine.
Shout out to Duncan Robinson too for reviving his career. Because for a while everybody said he was overpaid. Like
he's had a really good past couple of seasons, and I'm happy for him. But I've seen what the acquisition of young talent can do for a team, especially a team that's kind of in the middle pack like the Heat. So just roll with your vets, acquire some young talent, and hey, cut your losses with Jimmy before things get too bad.
No, it's already too bad. And and the thing, I'm 100% on Jimmy's side with this. He did it behind closed doors first.
Good point.
Then Pat Riley wasn't going to deal him. It feels like Pat Riley was like, nope, you signed the contract, you're stuck here, none of that. And then he started acting out because there were already leaks in the organization that Jimmy wanted out. Right? So he came to you about it. Then somebody in your camp leaked it, and then our reporters are doing now are asking. So he just finally addressed it that day, and he was like, "I'm not happy in Miami." He kind of did the James Harden thing. Was like, "Man, this can't be repaired just because I'm not happy here."
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, they let it get out. And let me ask you a question too. Somebody told me this at work today. Over the past couple of years, does it feel like to you, Pat Riley is, especially now that Udonis Haslem is gone, it's starting to feel, and I kind of agreed, it's starting to feel like Pat Riley is becoming the Jerry Jones of the NBA. Like he's the end all be all, wants to be praised for putting these teams together because he's the president, the GM, and the CEO. Like it's his way or you're out the door. And no slight to Eric Spoelstra, because Eric Spoelstra by any stretch of the means is not Jason Garrett or any of those guys that were yes men. True. Eric Spoelstra is going to coach his way. He's been doing it forever. Eric Spoelstra he's a Hall of Fame coach.
Most definitely.
He can end his career tomorrow and will be a Hall of Fame coach.
Most definitely.
Eric Spoelstra is a really good coach. So it's starting to give the feel that Pat Riley he's not as relevant as he was to like our generation and generations before that. But he still wants to be relevant with this new generation and still wants to be regarded as the to lack of a better term, I use Stephen A's term, the basketball savant.
Damn. Like I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's damn near valid.
Like if you're not a basketball fan, and you could understand this because you're a Golden State Warrior fan. How many people know that's not basketball fans that Jerry West was the mastermind in that Golden State Warriors team?
Not a lot.
How many people know if you don't watch basketball, Jerry West was the orchestrator of that Kobe Shaq team?
Not a lot.
How many of you know that if you're not a basketball fan, Danny Ainge is the mastermind behind the Boston Celtics, and now you can give what was the coach name that went to the front office?
Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens, that he took on a GM role and stuff. You wouldn't know this unless you're a basketball fan.
Yep.
But there's one thing that a lot of people that are casuals know. Heat culture was established by Pat Riley and Alonzo Mourning, and it's always his way or the highway. And when they win, since Eric Spoelstra took over, what was Pat Riley? Right there next to Eric Spoelstra, taking interviews and talking to the media. But during the season, it's all business, though, and you don't want to talk, right? But when the glory comes with the job, you want to say something. And I'm not outing Jerry Jones because Jerry Jones absolutely talks whenever they win or lose, right? He'll always talk. But Jerry Jones has to be front and center for everything. Pat Riley is getting to the point where he has to be front and center for everything in headlines. And I don't like that because it went from you being a general basketball person to being Jerry Jones and wanting to be the star now.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's very valid.
It blew my mind today too when I heard it, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to bring it up on PVT.
Yeah, bro, because I'm not even. I'm sitting here dumbfounded just thinking about it because when you look at the Heat and you think about the Heat culture, who's the first person you think of?
Pat Riley.
When you think about Dallas Cowboys, who's the first person you think of?
Jerry Jones.
There you go.
That's 100% facts. And then
Man.
after Pat Riley, I think of Dwayne Wade. But
Same. Honestly, same. Right? So, damn, I'm not gonna lie, that's valid, bro. That's actually very
let me tell you how cold this is gonna be, right? Chris Bosh got his shirt retired. Dwayne Wade got his shirt retired. Udonis Haslam got his shirt retired.
true.
How much you want a bet when LeBron retires, he won't get his shirt retired until Pat Riley is gone from the Heat organization?
You think so?
Yep.
Ooh, I think that's gonna be a really good topic on PGT when it comes up.
Because what's going to happen now is Pat Riley is going to be like, well, LeBron didn't want to fall in line. He was only here for 4 years, even though he won 2 championships. He's going to paint it as Dwayne Wade was the orchestrator of those two championships, even though LeBron was the best player in the league at the time, and the main reason why they won.
I don't put that past him.
But if you ask me in 2011 when they lost, who was the second best player in the series, it was hands down Dwayne Wade. Who was the third best player in that series? Either you could toss up to Chris Bosh or Jason Terry, because nobody is going to put LeBron in the top 3. He might be a top 5 player in that series, and you'll have those people out there who are ignorant and say JJ Barea, because JJ Barea had good fourth quarters where he helped close out. But JJ Barea did not have a better series than LeBron James. I just need people to back off that shit. And I love JJ Barea.
That's a horrible narrative. That's a horrible narrative.
The person that deserves a lot of praise in that, even before JJ Barea, that does not get the praise, 2 of them, Jason Kidd and Sean Marion.
Absolutely. People don't understand. People don't understand, especially Sean Marion. I know a lot of people understand who Jason Kidd was, and y'all don't understand the awkward shot, defensive mastermind that was Sean Marion, high-flying dunker that was Sean Marion. And the crazy thing about it is, don't think that the awkward little push shot that he had wasn't butter, though.
Right. And that's the other thing. People, I posted this in the group today. They were like, when Amari Stoudemire was out, Steve Nash stepped up, and that's why he won the second MVP. Fact of the matter is, when Stoudemire was out, Sean Marion went ballistic on that team.
Come on.
Sean Marion is one of those borderline Hall of Famers where it's like any given year he could get in if there is a weak class, and I would have no problem.
I wouldn't even be mad at it.
Like, people always talk about the most underrated player during the 2000s era, and I absolutely feel like it is Joe Johnson. But the next person in line would be Sean Marion.
I honestly think so too.
But enough of the Heat talk, man. Enough of
the Heat talk. You're right. Enough of the Heat talk. Let's go ahead and talk about the local heroes, or maybe not, the Sacramento Kings, and their maybe divorce with one De'Aaron Fox. Do we think that's actually plausible? De'Aaron on the move.
It's 100% plausible, because most players would have already signed their extension if they plan on staying with the team.
He did deny his extension.
You got another year left on your contract, and is he still on his rookie contract, or is he on his rookie extension?
No, he's on his rookie extension. Remember, They did offer him an extension. He just didn't sign it because it wasn't the extension that he wanted per se.
Here's what I'm going to say to that. De'Aaron's not signing, and I don't blame him. And the reason why I don't blame him, your Sabonis is still pretty young for the most part, but he's getting up there.
True.
Your third or second, so however you look at DeMar DeRozan being the second best or third best player on this team, any given night he could be the second best if he's balling, and any given night Sabonis is balling and he's the second best. They're interchangeable, which is a good thing for the Kings if they can put it together. My issue here is, though, that neither DeRozan or Sabonis is pretty consistent. but neither one of them are playing consistent caliber all-star level like De'Aaron is. And De'Aaron is one of those guys. I think if De'Aaron was in a bigger market, and I hate saying if they were in a bigger market because everybody has social media, but
I
come
feel
on,
you.
come
I
on,
feel
man.
you.
Sacramento is not Los Angeles. Sacramento is not Miami. Sacramento is not New York.
As much
Sacramento
as
is not,
we're trying,
it's not even Chicago, man. Like it's
I'm out here. I live out here. I see it. As much as we're trying, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. You feel me? Like just as a city, like they're trying, but they're not there yet. Like on the level, on the magnitude of the cities that he's talking about. Go ahead.
right. And I just feel like I think he's in the right to want to leave Sacramento. Man, until Sacramento could break this cycle, Sacramento should probably do what Philadelphia did and trust and just trust the process for years on years. The problem is you got to have a coach that is willing to want to rack up those losses and willing to have a bad team. And you basically got to be Byron Scott.
And the GM and the owner who's okay with the essential tank in order to gain draft picks.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is good. If you trade De'Aaron Fox, you're not going to get a star player back. That's just real.
Yep, they've already reported that a lot of teams aren't willing to trade him either a star player or I think with 2 first rounds or whatever the Kings are asking for. So
I can absolutely guarantee you one team that's willing to trade a star player. Miami. Miami is absolutely but De'Aaron has one destination on his list and one destination only. And it's because he grew up around San Antonio and he wants to go to the Spurs. And rightfully so, Wemby is there.
Texas boy trying to go back home.
So rightfully so, Wemby is there. Will Sacramento make that happen? Absolutely the hell not, because they're not going to want to take an agent Chris Paul. I mean, although San Antonio does have the players, the young players to trade for him.
They do.
I think Sacramento, the year they lost to Golden State in the first round, which was a fantastic 7-game series. If you never watched it, it was absolutely amazing. I know Moo remembers that series. Steph Curry went off for 50 in the final game.
Yep, 50.
And De'Aaron Fox went off for like 35 or whatever. I will say De'Aaron Fox is a star player. He's not a superstar. And I think this divorce is happening because De'Aaron Fox thinks he deserves superstar money.
That's a good point. We talked about that on the basket too.
He's a really good player. And I think De'Aaron Fox is on the levels of in the 90s, you had Michael Jordan, right? And then you had Clyde Drexler, right? Just slight as far as shooting guards go, just slightly under. But then you had a crop of people who were really, really good, but weren't superstars. You got Mitch Richmond, Petrovic. Y'all know how much I think Reggie Miller is overrated, but even Reggie's not overrated in the playoffs. He's overrated during the regular season. You had those guys that weren't better than Clyde, so they're not better than Michael, but they're really good players that you can try and build around until you get a superstar, right? And De'Aaron is a really, really good player that is star level, that wants superstar money. And the fact that everybody has a thing in their head now, like, well, I'm going to just test free agency. Okay, but what if you test free agency and your value is what it is, and Sacramento actually offered you a better contract and you turned it down?
True. That's a good point.
I'm just saying, man, I think De'Aaron Fox could be, and this is not a slight in the West, right? I think De'Aaron Fox could be this generation's Mike Conley compared to accomplishments. I want to remind everybody, Mike Conley was a all-star level player that never got sent to the all-star game just because the West was loaded with guards. But if he would have went to the East in his prime, he would have absolutely made the all-star game in the East.
Well, I mean, that Grizzly team was stacked. A lot of people don't remember that Grizzly
Zach
team.
Randolph, Mark Gasol, Tony Allen, Mike Conley. At one point, Shane Battier did go back.
At one point, Shane Battier went back.
That team was stacked.
Stacked.
At one point, was it Darren Collison?
Yep, Darren Collison was on that team.
That team was stacked.
Even at one point, they had what the hell is his name? Shit, they had he was another guard.
That Tony Allen. Did I say Tony Allen already?
No, it wasn't Tony Allen. It was another one. I'm freaking, his name is literally on the edge of my tongue, bro. I just freaking can't even space it like a motherfucker right now. But let me see. We're gonna go.
Who was the starting small forward?
And see, that's the thing about you know what I'm saying, Mike Conley, that people don't even remember. Like, he was getting legitimate defensive player of the year votes.
Bruh, Mike Conley was legit that guy. Oh, Rudy Gay was on that team as well.
Rudy Gay. Thank you. Y'all don't remember how disgusting Rudy Gay was.
Bro, Rudy Gay was nasty until he had the shoulder injury. Oh, man, my God.
What?
And I would just like to say, for the sake of this podcast, Houston Rockets, you had Tracy McGrady in 06 and you drafted. I will never forgive you for trading Rudy Gay to Memphis after you drafted him and we had T-Mac and Yao Ming already. Never. People forget before Rudy Gay got injured, Rudy Gay had next. He was T-Mac 2.0, 6'8", 6'9", long guard, had a handle, had a jump shot. The only downfall for Rudy Gay was he was always hurt during the Grindhouse era.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wanted to go into Memphis and play. DeMarcus Cousins went in there talking that shit, and Zach Randolph told him, where I am from, bullies get bullied, bruh.
Bullies get bullied. You know, where I'm from, we bully the bullies. Mm-hmm. I remember that. Y'all don't remember.
Oh, man.
It wasn't outside, bro.
People don't remember. Zach Randolph is a good example of wrong situation will fuck you up every time. Because he was in Portland for the first part of his career, and nobody even thought twice about Zach Randolph.
Nobody even talked about him, bro.
This man goes to Memphis. I mean, unless you were like in the 2K and shit, 2K and
NBA
and
Live.
NBA Live at the time. This man goes to Memphis, and then after 1 year, everybody's like, "Who the fuck is this dude?" I'm like, "That's Zebo, nigga.
Yeah, that's Zebo. What you talking?
Man,
look, they wasn't outside, bro. It wasn't outside, bro.
No, not at all. But back to De'Aaron Fox. I don't want him to get the DeMarcus Cousins treatment either. So I think the Spurs would be a perfect landing spot to play with Wemby. But on the backside, also, De'Aaron Fox is a guy. See, a lot of these players, because they go through AAU and they're the star player and things like, they don't learn how to play basketball the right way.
True.
They don't know how to play off ball. They don't set screens for other players and things like that. But I would like to say I've watched De'Aaron Fox games personally, and De'Aaron Fox just understands basketball.
Yeah. I
don't necessarily know how much he can play without the ball in his hand. But Wemby needs the ball in his hand to be effective. To me. Because when Chris Paul is handling the ball a lot, the Spurs lose.
And I think that's what training with Steph and Steph's trainer is doing for him now, right? Like, he's trying to evolve his game by moving more off ball, working more off ball, and understanding that he can be more of a dangerous player if he understands how he can move and how dangerous he can manipulate the game when he is off ball and he's not controlling the ball.
And that was the difference between, and no slight to players now, you know what I'm saying? Because somebody's going to take this the wrong way. That was the difference between 2000s and like the early 2010s to now basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tracy McGrady could play on ball all day, but you know what he excelled at too? Off ball.
Yeah.
Kobe was an excellent one-on-one player.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? He could play off ball and run the system too. And the most perfect example I can give anybody, and Moo, you will attest to this.
Mm-hmm.
My man, ISO Joe.
Yes, sir.
ISO Joe got the nickname ISO Joe because he would play one-on-one and light your ass up.
Yep.
But he could also play in a system. ISO Joe, he could play one-on-one basketball during the game and score 25.
All day.
But the difference is he can play off ball all day if Kirk Heinrich or Mike Bibby is on. He can also play off ball and still get his 25 points without having
to get his 25 points.
This is why it didn't work between Westbrook and LeBron. And we sat here and told you I wasn't going to work because they're not off ball players.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not good shooters. And people, well, LeBron scored 40,000 points. How are you going to say he's not a good scorer? Simple. He doesn't have a plethora of ways he can score.
Yep.
But I don't know what De'Aaron Fox is going to end up. I think San Antonio would be good for him next to play to win Bayama. But if I had to, me being selfish, if I had to pick where I think he should go, even though I know he has it limited to just San Antonio, I think he should give Minnesota a try.
Really? Minnesota?
I think he should give Minnesota a try because De'Aaron Fox can. I mean, he might not be the best at playing off ball, but he can play off ball. And I think him, and I also think that Minnesota needs to come off that Rudy Gobert contract.
I like that.
But why would they do it why Sacramento's not going to do it? Because why would they need Gobert if they got Sabonis? I also think Sabonis' natural position is power forward and not center.
I think that's why they do it, because although Sabonis is leading the league in rebounds right now, where they lack is interior defense.
Right. And I think it goes back to the Karl Anthony Towns thing with Rudy Gobert. I'll be the first to tell you, I didn't believe in it. But Anthony Edwards made me a believer in his game. And I thought, and last year I really did think they had a legitimate chance of knocking off Denver. And anybody that didn't think that would have to absolutely be a fucking fool. Right? Like they did have they had a legitimate chance to make it to the NBA Finals. Unfortunately, Minnesota was like, okay, we don't want to do the same thing with Garnett and keep him for too long. And I think the fact is, once Anthony Edwards got drafted after his second or third year, they probably should have got rid of Karl Anthony Towns.
I think so too.
And it's not because he's not a good player. He's just not a Batman. He's a Robin, but he wasn't a sustainable Robin. Now look at him in New York. He's balling in New York.
Most definitely.
Sometimes you need to change the scenery. But I would love to see De'Aaron Fox next to Anthony Edwards to see what they could do. Will it work? I don't know. I tell you one thing, I don't want him here in Houston. And I don't want the Rockets to trade. So
I feel that. I'm not gonna lie to you. When it comes to De'Aaron, like I said, great young player, always been consistent. Unfortunately, this is just Sac, like Richard Jefferson said on television, I think yesterday. This is just Sacramentoing. They had a coach of the year that led them to the playoffs. Then you fire him, and after you acquire De'Aaron, or after you acquire DeMar, after Sabonis comes over, you get him Malik Monk. Like you have a team building, you have a culture building, but you're not willing to wait around where the time is just sweet to where you can kind of sneak in there and possibly get a championship if you make the right move, right? So when it comes to De'Aaron, I honestly hate it for Sacramento fans to see this divorce coming. I would love to see it work out for him out here in Sacramento, but if it comes to him wanting a new contract, and like DJ Michael B said, I'm not sitting here saying that he's a bona fide superstar, but I do think he's a star. But I do think that, like we talked about, I think a few years back on on Basket to Basket, there are levels to this. And when it comes to De'Aaron, I look at it like a Steph and Klay Thompson situation. Of course, you have Steph Curry, who's the true one, the true 1A. He's the true one. And then you have Klay Thompson, who you can look at as a 1B if you want. You can look at as a B. You can look at as a 2. It doesn't matter. But he is obviously the second runner of that team. And I do think that with a guy like De'Aaron, you're going to need another perennial guy to go along with that. And I see what they were kind of trying to do with the DeMar DeRozan and a Sabonis. But I just think that the way his game is, that's not really a match that was necessarily going to work in the future. Now that I'm looking at it, and with Doug Christie that has taken over and the new system that he's kind of implemented, I can kind of see how he wants De'Aaron to play and how he wants DeMar to play, but they're kind of clashing against each other. If I can
yeah, because DeMar DeRozan, even when he had Kyle Lowry, he played more on ball.
Exactly, he's more of an on-ball player, and we all know De'Aaron is more of an on-ball player as well. So I think if he can learn to operate off-ball and understand that he actually can have a really lethal three-point shot at a consistent level, if he does work on it, then he can find himself, being the guy that's going to get. You may not get the 1A money, but you'll definitely be guaranteed the 1B money to where it'll look like damn near 1A money. So especially if you go to a team like a Miami, which I understand how Pat is, but if you go to a team like a Miami, then you're possibly going to get a better team with with the opportunity to win, the opportunity to compete. But just like DJ Michael B said, if you end up going to San Antonio because that's where you want to go, that's where you feel connected to, you want to go play with Wemby, right? San Antonio, like we talked about a few shows ago, they have the young pieces to acquire De'Aaron to make that move. And you team up a De'Aaron with a budding superstar, or with the budding superstar and Wemby, an OG like Chris Paul, right? Because I don't think the SAC is going to want to trade for Chris Paul. I think that San Antonio is going to relatively keep him. And you let him learn from a Chris Paul who can also operate on ball and off ball, and he's learned how to do that as well.
And I don't think Chris Paul is at the point in his career, if De'Aaron was to eventually overtake his position and start over him, I don't think Chris Paul would have any ill feelings for that.
I don't think he would either. I think he would be more mentorish and want to show him exactly what people are saying when they have takes like this, to where it's like you will thrive in other situations and you can be the guy that you want to be and get paid the money that you want to pay if you just learn how to evolve your game in this way. I think with De'Aaron, hopefully, like I said, I hope it works out. But if he does ultimately end up somewhere out in the Texas region, I would not be surprised if it's San Antonio. But I'm also surprised because that Minnesota matchup, or that Minnesota pairing, that's a very good pairing. Him and Anthony Edwards, I like that.
I think one of the biggest things here is when it comes to it has to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And would San Antonio be willing to give up their young players? What's the guy's name? I think he's a sophomore. He's balling this year, and I don't think they would want to give him up. He's a small forward, the starting small forward. I can't think of his name right now, but
I know they got Champagne over there. I don't know.
So let me ask you this. I said Minnesota. I feel like Minnesota would be a good fit for him. Where else do you think would be a good fit for De'Aaron?
Just thinking about it, if I had to put him somewhere that I felt like he would thrive at, and I know that they would be willing to pay him the money that he wants, and I know a lot of people probably aren't going to like this, but honestly, I don't care. I'd put him in Milwaukee.
Yeah, that was part of my thought process too. Milwaukee, and no disrespect to Chris Middleton. But Chris Middleton would have to be in this trade.
If this was Troy, it'll be all disrespect to Chris Middleton.
You ain't right. The only other place I can see, like, let's just say you can see him going here and going crazy, and possibly make a finals run. I hate to sound like Stephen A. Smith, dog. I really do. But would you be willing to trade Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect or Necht or whatever the fuck his name is for De'Aaron Fox?
And put him in LA. Oh my goodness. Oh,
what you'd make you'd make the big three of De'Aaron Fox, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Does it solve not having a center? No. But you got players out there that's not really playing a lot that could come in and play center. You got Valanciunas, and you also got Vucevic, who is not happy with where they are right now.
True. Will he be able to play with LeBron? It's my only question.
That is my question too. Because De'Aaron Fox is not an off-ball shooter. He's hovering, I think, around 33% on threes, which is not an off-ball shooter in today's NBA.
That's not what you would want it, but you would.
But as far as in like a dribble first player, or he's pretty good. But for the most part, off-ball, no. And we already know. And I'm tired of telling people this, and I don't care who takes offense to this. LeBron can't play off the ball. We've seen it.
For 20 years, we've seen it.
Superstars get worse playing next to LeBron, unless you're Kyrie Irving, because Kyrie is an anomaly. He's just a very, very good. He's as good as finishing as he is mid-range, as he is as shooting three-pointers and long range. Kyrie's the anomaly. Him, Lillard, and Curry are anomalies. They might be from the same era-wise, but we're not going to see another trio like that. That's an anomaly. At point guard and shooting guard, it's not happening ever again.
This is true.
I just think I think De'Aaron wants to win, and outside of the Spurs and outside of the Lakers and outside of the Bucks, I don't think he can go to any team that would make an instant contender. Like, I need people to stop using franchise changer as a way to describe somebody because they're a star player. And if you're not a top 5 to top 10 player, you're not a franchise changer. You're a Robin. No disrespect, because every Batman needs a Robin. No disrespect at all.
Everyone ain't needs a 1B. I agree.
I don't know, man. I don't know where he would go. I would love to see him in Minnesota. I would love to see him in San Antonio. I do not want him in Houston. And it's not saying that he's not good, but I don't think him and Jalen Green will fit.
Yeah, I think that's valid.
If Jalen Green was here, I would think him and Sengun would fit, because him and Sabonis fit.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yep.
But does it necessarily equate in wins? No. Can they play together? Yes. I don't know, man. It's a tough one, but
yeah, it's definitely a tough one. We'll definitely keep eyes on that situation going forward, along with other situations and along with other names that might be involved in the trade. Speaking of trades and staying on the subject of basketball,
you know, Martin said in the house party, right?
You said what?
You know when Martin said in house party?
Which one?
Switch. Let's switch it up. We still on basketball, but let's switch.
We're going to switch leagues for just a second. Not even just a second. It's probably going to take us to the end of the show, but we're going to switch leagues. All right. So, as I'm pretty sure a lot of the sports world knows, if you haven't been involved in the sports world or just live under a rock, a blockbuster WNBA trade deal has went down this week, early on this week. Seattle Storm traded 6-time All-Star Jewel Lloyd to the Las Vegas Aces in a multi-team move that sends 3-time All-Star Kelsey Plum to the Los Angeles Sparks. Now, the Storm, they get number 2 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft, which can be very dangerous if you pay attention to this year's college prospects and the top 10 and the top 10 draft prospects in the WNBA draft this coming up year. The Sparks in this 3-team trade, the Sparks are getting number 9 from Seattle, and the Aces are receiving number 13 from LA. That is from Shamsharnia. Now, DJ Micah B, how are we feeling about this? How are we feeling about this trade right now?
Well, first and foremost, I thought the trade was necessary. Not saying that Kelsey Plum, Asia Wilson had issues, but at a certain point, not every team is built the same to win a championship 2, 3, 4 years in a row, or 3 out of 4, or 2 out of 4. True. Mental fatigue is really a thing, and being with the same people over and over again is a mental fatigue aspect. So what do? You go out, you get another superstar, all-star level caliber player that's hungry, and you hope it ignites fire in Asia Wilson to go out and do it again. I'm not saying Asia Wilson needs to be ignited, because obviously she came out on a freaking tear this year. It's just unfortunate, bro. Some people got to understand, some teams run their course and it's time to break it up.
Yeah, honestly, it's really that simple, bro.
Sometimes as a group, we set out to achieve a goal, we achieve the goal, and then it's like, all right, so what's next? We already achieved our goal, and it's not to win another one. Sometimes the goal is not to win. Sometimes the goal is just to make sure we compete the next year and try to get back here. Sometimes like, hey, we already won. What else we have left to prove? And that was the point of trading Kelsey Plum and getting another all-star to play with Asia Wilson. I think they did right. I think the Aces automatically vault back up in to the top 4 of their conference. I feel like Kelsey Plum at a certain point also wanted her own team. Well, now, my nigga, you got your own team.
True.
And and it's not saying that Asia Wilson and Kelsey Plum had beef. No. But at some point, if personally you feel like you're a star player or all-star player, I mean, there's just natural things where you're like, man, I want to try and run it as the star of a team and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's a good thing for both parties. I think both parties made a good trade. Now, as far as who is going to favor more, I think it'll favor more in the Aces' favor, right?
I feel that.
But Kelsey Plum is more than able to be the star player on a team. She's more than able to do that. This WNBA season will be interesting, especially because I think Angel Reese will be out all season because she did get hurt in their version of the Big Three. I don't remember what it's called, but their version of the Big Three, I think she did get hurt. I read it.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting going forward next year because I think Kelsey Plum and Asia Wilson could both be in the top 5 of MVP voting and battling for MVP voting. And I would think Angel Reese's competitiveness would not want Kelsey Plum to leave and go on and win MVP. Not saying it's hate there, but it's like, yo, I'm the reigning MVP. I'm that chick, and I'm not going to let you go to another team and then pass me up and feel like you're on the same level as me, which, like I said, Kelsey Plum is great. She's a star player, but she's not a superstar. Her skill set says she's not a superstar. And the WNBA is literally, like, the NBA, you might have 10 or 15 players you can dub as superstars.
True.
But the WNBA is one of the places where it's like the top 5 to 7 players you can literally count as franchise changers. And then everything after that, they're stars.
Yeah.
So
most definitely. I mean, when it comes to this trade, I mean, I think somebody has sent this to me, or I had seen it and I was just like, hell no, that would no. I don't even see that happening because when you pair an Asia Wilson with the Jewel Lloyd, with Chelsea Gray, with the Jackie Young, it's like, are y'all serious? And then on the other side, when you pair a Kelsey Plum with the De'Erica Hamby, with a healthy Cameron Brink, with a Rakia Jack, like what? There's no way this is for real.
College legends unite because it's
You know what I'm
stupid.
saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no way this is for real because you still have a league where you got the New York Liberty with Stewie, with INSQ, like you got Jonquel Jones. Like it's like I see what y'all are doing here, and I think this is the thing that is going to take the WNBA over the top. When you have teams that are star-studded and everybody can look to our team and be like, yeah, bro, they got 3-4 big ballers over there. They got 3-4 big ballers over there. They got three. Like it's gonna call for more entertaining basketball at all points in time. And even with friends departing and because like we say, there's no beef when it comes to Asia and Kelsey. There's always love in between them. You're always gonna have love for the people that you win a championship with. It's just like DJ said, there are times where a change of scenery is needed, a split is needed, and I think it's more Kelsey understanding that this was a breakup that was needed, that so that the health of both teams or both parties can go on and flourish as they need to. So shout out to both of these teams, shout out to both these players, everybody's involved. I'm excited for the WNBA season and what's going to happen next season. On the other side of it, we also have. Let's go ahead and get to this.
Hey, Mo, if let's just say both of these teams get to the conference finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Sparks and the Aces.
Yep.
Which team you taking?
Damn. Aces, because I'm an Aces fan. All my teams, unfortunately, now reside in Vegas because the Bay Area hates all my teams, unfortunately, except the Warriors. But you know how that goes.
I'm gonna go ahead and I think the Sparks will take it.
I'm not mad at that pick, though. I'm not mad at that pick at all.
I think the difference will be Cameron Brink.
Honestly, I feel you. That's
the reason why will be Cameron Brink. So
that's the reason why I say that the Aces will take it because of Cameron's most recent comments. Now, if she's not ready to go this season, and they do just so happen to that.
I didn't even know Cameron was out for the season.
Yes, so she'll still be possibly out for this whole season because she.
Well, yeah, if Cameron isn't playing, I would say for next year I would take the Aces.
Yeah, but if Cameron is fully healthy, god damn it, that is a series. Oh my gosh, that's a series. That's a for sure series, and I would love to see it all day, every day, and twice on Sunday and Saturday. Okay.
I just want to remind people how good Rakia Jackson is.
Y'all really don't know. Mind you, she was a rookie last year. Like she was a rookie last year, guys, and she was doing that. She's absolutely disgusting, and she was ready to go toes with Brittany Griner. Man, now she got that dog in her. She got that dog in her now. Hold on, wait a minute. You better not try her because she from the D. She got that dog in her. She get down with you.
Yeah. So, right. Interesting. I didn't realize Cameron Brink was out for the season. That absolutely sucks. But the following year, don't sleep on him.
Definitely. Now, in other news, speaking of more WNBA trades, we have Alyssa Thomas going to the Phoenix Mercury. Now, she will be teaming up with right now Kalia Cooper and somebody who's on the fence, doesn't know if she wants to retire, doesn't know if she wants to come back, and Diana Taurasi. We'll get to one Brittany Griner, BG, in just a second. But as of right now, we have Miss Alyssa Thomas joining one Kalia Cooper, who was getting legitimate MVP nods last year. And if you're watching Unrivaled, she hasn't lost a step, not even a little bit. So yeah, I'm actually liking this trade a lot as well.
The Phoenix Mercury is the perfect team to say, hey, I don't care how much y'all loading up, we got talent over here too.
Yes,
And the Phoenix Mercury can easily win a championship next year as well. The WNBA is shaping out to be either 3 or 4 team league of contenders that we all think like that can win. So Phoenix is very, very dangerous, especially with Brittany Griner. I don't see anybody in the WNBA that can just hold Brittany Griner to under 20 points. I just can't. It's Brittany Griner is either going to hold herself under 20 or she's going to score 20 plus with a double-double or triple-double. And I feel like no matter what, Phoenix will be right there in the end. They'll be right there.
I think they are.
If they were to beat the Aces or the Sparks, it would not surprise me. I think they have the veteran leadership. I think they have the skillful players. I think they're all around a well-rounded team. So, yeah, for sure, Phoenix could get the job done.
I think so.
Diana Taurasi should stay one more year because this might be the best chance you have of winning the championship before you retire.
I think so. I think you stay one more. I think this, like I said, I like this move a lot. This move is really, really good for Phoenix.
Makes sense.
It makes sense a lot. You give them some much needed scoring again. Outside of Kalia Cooper, they get a really, really, really big nod in the defense on the defensive side of the ball, and I think they're on a poise to look really competitive. Now, as my boy mentioned, one Brittany Griner, she is no longer going to be in Phoenix. Unfortunately, she will be on the move to one Atlanta, to where she has signed to the Atlanta Dream. She is now poised to team up with one Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray.
Okay, hear me out. Atlanta should tank.
You think so?
Atlanta should tank. Hear me out on the reason why I say it should tank.
No, keep going because it's interesting you say that. Keep going. Go ahead.
Because in the event they tank and they can acquire Juju, shit will get interesting in the WNBA real quick. If Atlanta was to somehow ever acquire Juju, they should trust the process like Philadelphia did and try to get Juju Watkins. Which I don't know if we're going to talk about college basketball tonight, but Juju has not lost a step.
Oh yeah,
Juju could have left last year and been a lottery pick. She could have left last year and been a top 10 pick. She could have left last year and been a top 5 pick had she entered. If they could somehow get Juju, this team could be very, very, very dangerous.
Very, very. But I think just looking at, because I had it pulled up. I had sent it to Mel because me and Mel, be talking about the WNBA news and stuff like that.
What up, Picante? I ain't forgot about you, bro.
All right, so with the WNBA mock draft, speaking of that, if they were to tank, all right, if they were to tank, because right now, as of right now, the number 1 pick currently stands with the Dallas Wings. So if they were to tank, they would probably most likely secure a top 5 spot.
That's funny. Nobody cares about the Dallas Wings.
Unfortunately, no. But the Dallas Wings, now I think the only way that they actually be able to make a trade, they're actually able to come up or move up in this draft is if they make a trade. But with the most recent moves that they've made, they're probably going to stay where they're at. Now, unfortunately, Juju is not eligible to come out until next year.
Right, because WNBA has a set. What is it? 3 years of outside something like the NFL does.
Yes, but that does not mean they lose out on a star, though. If they do decide to either, which most likely trade up, they can acquire one Paige Beckers and or Olivia Miles.
Oh my God. Paige is a monster. Good Lord.
And the way Olivia and Hannah Hidalgo have been playing for Notre Dame this year is insane.
I would tank. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the Dream are really good, but I don't think they can win a championship. And I'm not. And the other part is, I feel like the Dream would be a middle of the pack team as far as record wise go. You'll be top 15, but you might be somewhere between 9 and 13, and it's not doing anything for you to be in between 9 and 13 and having a draft, because I don't think you're going to find a game check. WNBA to me is way more simpler than the NBA. I don't think you're going to find a game changer between 9 and 20.
I'm not mad at that, honestly. I'm not mad at that at all. Now, we have one more signing due to free agency. Courtney Vandersloot will be joining the Chicago Sky. Now, this is interesting because Kennedy Carter is supposed to be a free agent, but she is rumored to be signing back with the Chicago Sky. We all know that Angel Reese is rumored to be, or confirmed to be, out for the season in this coming up draft, or in this coming up season. So with that being said, this signing can be very, very key for a team like the Sky, who is trying to secure some type of culture and put down a foundation of who their identity really wants to be and who they really need to be with the new coach that is supposed to be signing there. That's what's going on in the WNBA right now. As we know, Unrivaled has been kicking off. They've been going crazy. I think there's only one WNBA team, or one undefeated Unrivaled team right now. Gonna go ahead and try to pull that up before we start to.
Why you do that? I just want to give a shout out to the Ohio State University Buckeyes.
Go ahead and talk your shit, big dog. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah,
we did it again. Let's go, Buckeyes. I don't give a damn. We lost to Michigan. The ultimate slap in the face is we won. We won.
Hey, and y'all can't be mad at it, man.
But I will also like to sit here and give an apology to Notre Dame. Everybody here on PVT was like, Notre Dame shouldn't even be here. They're not good enough. And Notre Dame got to the championship game. Hey, I'll be the first to tell you I didn't think Notre Dame was good enough. I will. I said it here. I was like, it's time for Notre Dame to finally join the conference. They said independent. They got back to another championship game, and it was not we're just going to pick Notre Dame because they beat these people. Nope. Notre Dame fought their way through the college football playoff, and they got to the final. And this might, and correct me if I'm wrong, this might have been one of the most even years we've seen in college football in a long time, as it when you come to the college football championship.
Yes,
nobody was head and shoulders above, better than everybody else.
Yes, sir. That's a fact. Not gonna lie to you, that's a fact. The last few years, they've been blowouts. This is probably the most evenly matched that we've gotten, and I think that that's what the committee was more looking for with the whole 12-team playoffs. But this is interesting. This is especially interesting, especially for teams like Alabama and Georgia, SEC teams. I'm looking at you guys. But as you guys know, This is PVT. This is what we do. DJ Michael B, go ahead and kick us off with your final thoughts, man.
My final thoughts are actually pretty sad, but pretty simple. I just want to give out my condolences to all those families that lost somebody early this morning whenever the Black Hawk crashed into the plane. Very sad situation. My heart goes out to all the families of the Olympic ice skating team members. It's really an unfortunate situation, and I hate that I have to bring it up for people 20 and under. It really does suck. My condolences to all you guys. My heart out to all you guys. America will bounce back and get stronger. I mean, there's nothing else we can really much say. To the families, I would just like to say I'm not going to be one of those guys that tell you over time it gets better. It doesn't, because there's a bunch of you that are going to have to bury a child, right? Instead of a grandparent or somebody you think that should have eventually left before you.
Mm-hmm.
You probably never thought you'd be burying your child and things like that. So, man, my heart goes out to everybody that was involved in that crash. My heart goes out to the people and friends, the pairs and friends of the condolences on the Black Hawk. I don't think it was intentional, nor do I think it was a conspiracy. I just think freak accident.
Yeah,
But it really sucks, man. When I heard about it this morning, my heart hurt for those lost, and no survivors is really, really, really a tough thing.
Definitely.
It's tough to hear there was no survivors. So that's my final thoughts on today.
All right, man. Definitely tough. Condolences out to everybody who has lost a loved one in the unfortunate events that happened this morning. Like DJ Michael B said, everything isn't a conspiracy. Everything doesn't need a think piece. Some things you can just say, my condolences, or I'm sorry, and move on. So 2025 has been very, very trying with the fires in LA, the explosions and the terrorist attacks in New Orleans, and now we have this. Like DJ Michael B said, it never gets easier, but you learn to live with your trauma. You don't really get over the trauma. You really learn to just kind of live with it and keep it at bay as it goes. And don't forget that you can always talk to somebody. There's always somebody out there for you to talk to. But other than that, make sure you guys tune in to the rest of the shows throughout the rest of the week. We got Inside the Huddle tomorrow on Friday. Basket to Basket is back with you guys on Monday. Gentlemen's Talk is back with another dope fire episode on Wednesday. You already know we back here, PVT, on Thursday. And then we doubling back on Friday for Talking at Ish. Don't forget to tap in with the Geek Gauntlet podcast. Shout out to our boy Willie. He couldn't make it today. He's dealing with some family things. But you already know we got love for him. So make sure you guys tune into the Sports Report. He just secured a new contract with a new streaming service. Same time on Mondays. Comes on right after Basket to Basket. So don't miss it. And like I said, Geek Gauntlet podcast on Saturdays. Make sure you go subscribe, like, comment, subscribe, everything. And we gonna see you guys next week. Peace out. Make sure you guys comment, keep riding the train, because if you don't, you're gonna get left.